I think that saying no is such a powerful act of self alignment. And I want to chat about why. Because I think the reframe that I've had around saying no has genuinely changed how I think about it. Because most of us experience no as a loss or as a door closing or as an opportunity that we missed out on. And there's this discomfort that comes with it, of course, because there may be times where you kind of second guess yourself and ask yourself if you made the right call, if you should have just said yes, and you start to feel doubts that nothing better will come. And that discomfort is so real. I experience it very frequently, but I had a conversation with a friend the other day, and the way that she phrased this feeling helped me feel so seen. And coming out of that conversation, here's how I've started to think about saying no instead. Every time you say no to something that isn't right for you, you're not closing a door. You're giving feedback. You're giving feedback to yourself, to the universe, to God, spirit, whatever word resonates with you. And you're saying, that wasn't it, right? I know myself well enough to recognize that this opportunity wasn't it for me. And I'm not going to fill my life with things that don't fit just to avoid the discomfort of waiting for things that do fit. And I think that's not rejection. That's actually operating from a place of clarity. And when you start to say no from that place, you actually raise your standard because you send this message out that I know what I'm looking for. And when you raise your standard, the things that were previously available to you, right? The misaligned opportunities, the situations that kind of felt right, but not quite, the things that would have filled the space, but not the need that you want satisfied. Those are the things that I think start to just fall away naturally. And it's because you stopped making room for them. And the universe, God, spirit, again, whatever word works for you, starts to recalibrate because you have sent a signal. You've shown through your choices, not just your words, what you are available for and what you're not available for. And I think this signal is so, so important because you can say that you have these standards all you want, but the no's are actually proof of that. So I think that saying no, it just builds something that it builds something internally that saying yes doesn't build. Every time you say yes to something that's misaligned, whether it's to keep the peace or, to not seem difficult, you are sending yourself a message that you're not quite worth holding out for, that the standard is negotiable, and that filling space is better than waiting for the thing that's more aligned, essentially. And every time you say no to something misaligned, even when it is uncomfortable, and when there's nothing better that's visible yet, you send yourself a different message. And that message is that you trust there's something more aligned coming and that you are worth the wait. And that you're not just saying you have a standard, you're actually living by that standard. And when you send that signal out to the world listens. So when I had this conversation with my friend, she phrased it, I wish I'd written it down, but she phrased it along the lines of, I'm sorting through this pile of opportunities, some of which would have been aligned in the past, but are no longer aligned. And some of which, I mean, they've never been aligned. And as I sort through them and I give this feedback to the universe, right? The universe is now recalibrating and looking at the things that I'm saying yes and no to and curating a collection of opportunities that are more reflective of what I desire. And I really liked the way she phrased it. So I wanted to share that today. So I think that as uncomfortable as it is to say no, it's going to be important to do so because the discomfort of saying no doesn't mean that you made the wrong call. Sometimes it actually means the opposite. It means that you chose your standard over your comfort. And I don't think that's red flag. I think that is really having integrity. And the discomfort is honestly just the gap, right? The discomfort is in the space between where you are and where you're going or where you want to be. And in that space, there's, you know, the old pattern of filling it, and then the new practice of holding it open for something that actually resonates and fits the type of life that you want. So if you are feeling this wobble, this uncertainty, this second guessing when you say no to something, I want you to remember that the discomfort is not necessarily because you made the wrong choice. It just might be that feeling of you raising your standard and letting the universe know that, okay, my standards have changed. So the opportunities that you send my way need to be aligned with my desires. And I think that is really powerful.